Trump's tariffs are making homes more expensive, but there's two groups who are actually winning, and you're never going to guess who they are. I'm Brandon from Vegas. As always, we're here with my lender, Bill Gaylord. And today, we're going to discuss how Trump's trade wars are silently inflating housing costs, but not everyone is losing. If you watch the news, they'll tell you, oh, this is bad for everybody in real estate. But there are two groups who are going to benefit primarily from what's going on here. So while buyers are going to suffer, savvy sellers and commercial investors are going to cash in, and we're going to tell you guys exactly why. So Bill, explain to people, because a lot of people, tariff talk is in the air, but let's be honest with us. 99% of us turned out during government economics in high school. So what is the goal of a tariff?
Well, first of all, a tariff is basically a tax that is paid for a country importing goods into the United States. So if they have a widget and they bring it and they sell it to the United States, right now we had a really low tariff, like 2%.
Yeah.
Now, we are now charging the other countries a tariff to import their goods, and upwards of, over 100%.
It's because we buy most of the world's crap, right?
People come here. They bring their products in here. They need to sell their products that they make overseas, and it's called reciprocal. They're trying to make it reciprocal right now, and it's a game right now.
Yeah, I tell people, try to sell your American products in Japan or Vietnam or Korea or pretty much anywhere, right? Anybody who knows, who's in big business, knows you're paying a severe tax. So this is just our way of trying to even the playing field, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, for us, we focus on real estate. How do these tariffs focus on real estate? Well, if you've been wondering why homes are suddenly $30,000 more than last year, even without upgrades, it's not just going to be the interest rates, it's going to be the tariffs, right? Because we import so many materials to build houses. Now, a little secret for people. Most new builds buy their materials years in advance, right? They're not buying new lumber every day. They pay subcontractors. They pay everybody involved with the process in advance. So right now, housing prices are going to look pretty steady because they already have stuff. Where it's going to kill people, and this is why buyers really need to pay attention, is the next round of building. When they run out of these materials and they go have to purchase more, right?
Yeah.
The goal of the tariffs is to bring American production back here, which is great. It could work. It could not work. We'll see. But that's going to take time, right? Building manufacturing plants, opening up the networks that can deliver products here and here and here. This takes time. And in that time, we're still going to need to buy materials from China and other countries to make this work. And with these tariffs that are in place, they're going to be more expensive. Bill, what are the three things you need to build a house?
It's pretty simple. You need land, labor, and materials. And land is the first thing. A lot of people go in, they have to find the land. We're getting some scarcity of land, right? Which is when there's scarcity, it's supply and demand. And when that happens, the land values go up. So you need the land, and that's going up, right? Number two, you need the labor. And I know the labor is going up because there hasn't been a lot of trained construction workers. They kind of went into different directions. There's a lot of people, even my friend over here sitting behind this podcast desk, that could have been in the construction industry, and he is a podcaster.
He's a podcaster.
He's a podcaster.
Or a D, and we're very grateful for that, by the way.
We wouldn't be here if we didn't have him.
There are 11 million trade jobs that need to be educated and filled, right?
Yeah.
And with the amount of, let's be honest, with the amount of immigrant exportation and all that stuff, which relies heavily in the construction and agricultural fields, we now need even more trained people that we don't have. We can train them, but they're not here right now.
Boils down to supply and demand.
So
everything's supply and demand. Then you go to the materials, right? And guess what? Do you think those are going to go up, Brandon?
Oh, yeah. I actually have the exact number for you, Bill. You ready for some shocking evidence here?
Give me the numbers.
For all the buyers out here who think that realtors are telling you to buy now because we're just trying to scam you or sell you a product, I'm going to tell you some numbers that support what we're saying and should hopefully put the fear of God into you. Bill, do you know the average price of lumber in 2018?
No.
$350 per 1,000 feet of board. Do you know what it is today?
No.
$575, $275 more. Do you know how much feet of board you need to build one house?
That's crazy. It's going up.
So materials are going up even
Correct.
further. Bill, You need land to build a house, right? You need land to build a house. Bill, would you like to guess the average cost of land in Summerlin in 2020?
I don't know. I'm gonna say I don't know because I feel like you know the answer.
Oh, I came prepared today, man. The clip that's coming out from this is going to go crazy. The average cost of an acre of land in Summerlin is $772,000 in 2020. In 2025, a 2.7 acre lot in Summit Club sold for $30 million at $11 million per acre. Bill, that is a 1,400% increase in the cost of land.
Well, now the Summit Club is a huge club, right? I mean, it's awesome.
I had a feeling you would say that.
Of course.
I had a feeling that you would say that.
Is that a real comparison?
That's Bill's friends. Those are Bill's friends hanging out, okay?
Bring it to reality.
A 3-acre parcel in Summerlin for their new West Summerlin community sold at $6 million per acre. That is a 7.5% increase in 5 years. Or 7,500% increase. I'm always used to doing sports betting numbers, right? It's just the easy way for me to do it, right? So the cost of land hasn't just doubled. The cost of land has 7 times itself, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Bill, but you need one more thing to build a house. You need labor. You need people to do the work, right?
We need the labor.
Bill, do you know what the average hourly wage for a construction laborer in 2018 was?
I'm going to say around 20.
You're right. It's about $20. Today, as of March 2025, the average hourly earning for construction workers is $39.24. Okay. It has doubled, Bill.
See, Austin, I told you should go into construction. I mean, what happened over there, man?
So the cost of labor has doubled.
Yes.
The cost of land has 7x'd itself. The cost of lumber is almost doubled. In what world do buyers not get that this is before tariffs? Without tariffs, this has been the rising cost of goods. With massive tariffs on China, where, shocker guys, that's where we get a lot of our products and building materials from. With the trade war with China, the cost of these things is going to escalate even higher. The cost of lumber could shoot up to who knows what, the cost of concrete, the cost of aluminum. There's so many things that we need to build a house that are involved with these tariffs. So when we tell people to buy now, it's not because we don't care, right? Like, honestly, my investors will buy more houses this year than any amount of buyers can. It's just the truth. We see the cost of everything that they don't get to see, and it's going up. If they don't buy now, Bill, these tariffs, I'm telling you, they're going to push the cost of housing to a place that, imagine this scenario. You have a guy, first-time family. They're approved for $400,000 right now, but they say, you know what? We're going to wait for the interest rates to go down, or we need to save a little bit more money, right? So 6 months later, they go to buy a house with all the tariff taxes implemented, and that same house cost them $450,000, and they can't afford it. That's a real situation that people are going to be facing. Houses aren't going to be $5,000, $10,000 more, Bill. They're going to be $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 more.
Well, and I know you're going to get mad at me because I talk about interest rates, right? So interest rates do make a difference too when you're buying the land, when you're buying the lumber, when you're doing the labor, all that stuff. Because a lot of times those people have to finance some of that into it. And the rates have gone up, 3%, 5%, 7% higher than they were back then. That's an added cost to build a home as well. Yeah. In addition to being higher interest rates for a home buyer right now. In fact, I have had more alert to lock programs.
Show them.
Right here. Alert to lock, alert to lock, alert to lock.
What does that mean?
So it means that the interest rates are going up. Lock in your loan today if you're under contract. And it is a really volatile market. And it's going to take time for it to settle down. But guess what? The number of purchase applications prior to the tariffs went up 25% when the rates went down from 6.7 to 6.6.
That's crazy.
The number of purchase applications went up 25%. Do you think people are out there wanting to buy a home?
Of course.
Yes. Now they're approaching 7%.
Remember when we told everybody that if you bought a home December, November of last year or January of this year, you were going to look back like a genius?
It's going to happen.
How right are we going to look here in a second when these tariffs make houses $50,000 more than they were in January?
Well, and I look at it too, Brandon. There's, when I got into this business 32 years ago, right? I've been in the mortgage industry 32 years. There was about 3.9 million transactions nationally.
Okay.
How many transactions were there in 2024?
Oh, you got me, Bill. Give it to me.
4 million. Okay. A little bit more than there. Okay.
I thought you were going to say something
100,000.
crazy.
No.
Okay.
Now, how much has the population grown since 1993?
Millions and
80 million.
Yeah.
The number of households, 30 million. So people are buying homes. They want to buy homes. And the number of transactions are going to happen. The average first-time home buyer age used to be 29 and, in the early 90s. It went up to 33.
Yeah.
Now it's 38.
That's crazy.
Do you think that those people are now a little bit more established, wanting to buy a home?
Yep.
They're just sitting on the sidelines waiting to get into the market. And what happens when you get into the market? Are there enough homes for people to buy?
You just said 80 million more people, but the same amount of transactions. We can't make it any clearer that there's just not homes for everybody, right? There's just not enough homes for everybody. It's impossible. It's impossible to add that many more people, Bill.
Yeah. And then to build, so we're probably estimated 5 million homes short in the country based on NAR, National Association of Realtors. And when you're that many already short and you have home prices going up, the home builders are going to do everything they can to make it as affordable as possible. So what do? They shrink wrap everything. Mm-hmm. The lot size that used to be a regular lot size was 9 to 10,000.
Yep.
Then it went to 7,000.
Yep.
Then it went to 6,000.
Yep.
Then it went to 5,000. Then it's now like 3,500 square feet, some of these homes. And then the homes are just like, the rooms are smaller, the garage, you may not have a backyard.
Yeah.
So everything shrink wrapped.
When you were paying $300,000, when a builder was paying $300,000 an acre for land in Inspirata or Summerlin, they could afford to give you the 7, 8, 9,000 square foot backyard. When they're paying $1.5 million an acre, they're trying to squeeze as many houses on that acre as humanly possible. That's just the cost of doing business, right? So, Bill, we've made it pretty clear through numbers, data, experience that buyers are going to get hit pretty hard by these tariffs, and if they don't make a move now, they're going to look back with a ton of regret, right?
Yes.
Who's winning then, right? Because in life, there's always winners and losers. So if buyers are going to get crushed here, who's winning? Well, that's an important part of the tariffs, right? Because a trade war isn't a loss for everyone. People who already own homes are an advantage. Builders are so slowed by cost that resale homes become a hot commodity. We're seeing it with pools, right? They put a limitation on how big your pool can be. Now houses with big pools are a premium, even more so because you can't buy them anymore, right? Sellers enjoy these bidding wars because they don't need to upgrade or do anything like that. They don't need to make any changes. They have a hot commodity, right?
Yes.
Landlords, multifamily owners. If buyers are priced out of the market, that means more renters. More renters means multifamily and landlords are about to clean up. Because if you physically are unable to buy a home, you have to rent. You have no option, right? Finally, people in commercial real estate, right? If we're going to bring American products back to America, well, we're going to need manufacturing plants. We're going to need warehouses. Commercial real estate agents love that, right? Because they're taking a bath on offices because people are working from home. They're taking a bath on malls and things like that because people shop on Amazon. Well, great. They're looking for the next big thing. Here it is right in their face. It's kind of like when cannabis came to Vegas, right? All those people who own big plots of warehouses and all that in North Las Vegas, clean me up, right? So commercial agents and people who already own homes are going to be the big winners from these tariffs.
Yeah. Can I give you another stat?
Yeah.
That because I look at this all day long. I'm kind of a nerd that way. So from 1942 until the present, right? Every decade, the 1940s, 1950s, 1960s, 1970s, is real estate a short-term investment or a long-term investment?
Long-term.
Long-term. So every single decade from the 1940s up until the last decade, and this decade as well, has shown positive appreciation every single decade.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing to me, as I look at it, I look at the 1970s, and the 1970s had the highest appreciation ever in any of the decades. It was like 130%.
Like 2020 to 2025?
Yep.
Really?
Yep. So what, and you look at that and you go, what's the similarities between the 1970s and where we are right now? We had higher inflation in the 1970s.
Okay.
Right? You had wars in the 1970s. You had civil rights going on at that time, women's rights.
Lots of chaos going
Lots
on,
of
right?
chaos. What do we have now? We had
of
high
chaos.
inflation.
Yeah.
We have potential wars going on. You have all sorts of stuff. So this actually could be another, in my opinion, 1970s. So it may not be that high, but every decade, appreciation.
Mm-hmm.
And the 1970s was actually the highest, which was crazy to me.
Yeah.
1960s was the lowest.
So what would be the playbook for people looking to be on the profitable side of these tariffs?
Well, so my opinion, as you know, I talk to multiple buyers every single day, going through the consultations. Gosh, that payment, I can't afford that payment. I can't afford that payment. That just is like very hard. But in the market that we're in right now, because of the higher interest rates and because we're seeing low transactions on the sales side, sellers are a little bit more motivated. If their house is listed for sale, guess what? They want to sell the house, right? So how do they sell the house and how do they make it more attractive? It's basically providing seller concessions. You are a perfect example. How much are you getting in seller concessions virtually on every transaction that you do? I see it all the time. How much?
We're getting them the max, man. Especially if it's FHA or conventional especially, we're getting you that full 3%.
Yeah. So you can get 3% on a 5% down payment or less, right?
Yeah.
And so if you have a $400,000, you're getting like $12,000 typically on that. And then what we're seeing too is that the buyer, because of the payment, that's like, oh my gosh, there's a lot of 2-1 buy downs that are starting to occur. And the 2-1 buy downs lower their interest rate 2% in the first year, 1% in the second year, and then it goes to the rate as it is today.
Yeah.
And they get a lower mortgage payment now, and for the first 2 years get settled in. And by that time, certainly the progress is that hopefully their income will go up over that time period, number one. But number two, hopefully we'll see interest rates go down as everything settles out. They'll be able to refinance into a different program.
Whatever gets them in the house, right?
Yeah, whatever gets them in the house and feels comfortable.
So if you're someone who's panicked about tariffs, here are the 3 playbooks that I would run for each group involved in real estate, right? For buyers, I would follow Bill's strategy. Push for whatever it takes to get a property right now. You're going to look back with so much regret if you do not jump in now, right? Because the people who bought in November, January, December, they're going to clean up when these prices jump. If it's down payment assistance, take it. If it's 2-1 buy downs, take it. Whatever gets you in the property. If you're a seller, especially a recent seller, someone who recently bought their home within the last year, sit back, keep upgrading your home, keep your house nice. Trust me, the value is going to be there. Wait for the perfect moment to strike and capitalize. And then finally, if you're a commercial real estate agent, you need to be hunting for markets where companies are bringing production back. You have to anticipate job growth, which leads to housing demand, which leads to price appreciation. If you're a big investor, you must be targeting markets where American industries will be coming back, right? Those are the playbooks for each group of people if you want to make it through this chaotic, trade war times.
Can I add one more thing?
Yeah.
If you're a seller, right, and you're trying to sell your house, sell it like the builder.
Yeah.
And the builders right now, what they do is they give an incentive. They know they're never going to reduce their sale price, very rarely, and they just pack in incentives to try and sell it. So you got to be reasonable with the price, number one. Number two, if you're going to provide some kind of an incentive to sell that house like a 2-1 buy down, it will make more eyeballs onto your listing. It would absolutely do it. And builders are in the business to sell a home. They take emotion out of everything. They have quarterly quotas that they have to meet. As a seller, it's very emotional, right? you got to take the emotion out when you're selling that home.
Have to.
My baby grew up here. We had our, Christmas, day every single year here, And you got to remove that. And you got to think like a builder, take the emotion out. And if you're going to sell it, sell with some concessions.
Sell with some concessions, man. So a recap for everybody to keep this in synopsis, right? Tariffs are going to be pricing out buyers, slowing builders, and creating supply and demand issues. You must attack and capitalize now, or you will look back with regret. Sellers and commercial buyers, you guys are going to be winning because the value is there in bringing back American production. All right. The final take is that this isn't just about politics or Trump. This is about profit. Tariffs reshuffle economies, and in real estate, the money goes fast to people who are aggressive and informed. So you must stay aggressive, and we promise to keep you guys informed. Every other week, we'll be here telling you guys where the economy is going, how the tariffs are affecting the cost of land, labor, and materials, and Bill will be sharing you guys for both buyers and sellers on ways to capitalize and maximize your first or second, third home purchase or home selling, right? Bill, give them some closing information.
BillGaylord.com, BillGaylord.com, very easy. Go there, schedule a free consultation. Would love to walk you through credit, income, assets, and see where you stand right today.
Yeah, guys, if you are someone who has thought about this, do me the biggest favor. Subscribe, send this to somebody you know who is interested and needs to get going, and contact Bill as soon as you possibly can, okay? His company can help you guys with a free start. That means a financial plan, helping you see where you can get prepared. Some of you might be ready right now and you don't even know it. Reach out to Bill. I promise you it's not as painful as you think it's going to be. It's just quick, right?
The hardest part is making the call, making the appointment. I've seen everything possible, but you have to have a starting point. So don't be afraid to do it.
You have to have a starting point. As always, guys, I'm Brandon from Vegas. We do this podcast every other week. We've got about 85 to 90 episodes for you guys. So make sure you guys watch that. Keep yourself educated. If you guys want some shorter clips and reels, we repost everything at the Brandon from Vegas, TikTok, Instagram. You guys can find us anywhere you need.
You're everywhere.
We also do food, so you guys can watch all that stuff too, man. But keep your guys self-informed and let's make that money. Bill, thank you for your time.
Thanks, Brandon.
Come and be my neighbor, guys. Peace, 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 peace.